1995, and then he was saying that that's when they programmed those kids that were born from 1995. They programmed them with frequencies to like zap their mind, zap their memory, like on some Men in Black shit.
You
And
know when we born in the listen, when we born in the hospital, them bright ass lights, it shocks the optic nerve.
Bro,
it shuts down. Listen, it shocks the optic nerve and it shuts down what's called the memory cortex. Because the memory cortex, which is the gateway to all your memories, is directly behind the optic nerve. Where the root of the optic nerve is in the brain, directly behind that is access to your memory system. If you fry it by putting them bright ass lights in the newborn baby face, it might take them 10 years to start getting his past life memories back. By then, you've indoctrinated him enough to neglect it.
I'll slap the shit out of my doctor. I'll slap the shit out of a doctor. My future son, I'm just thinking about it, like, just in general, like, you know, when you take a nap and when you wake up, you're just, like, disoriented and you're like, what the fuck? Just imagine a baby, like, all that light. Oh, that's horrible. No wonder they cry. No wonder.
They're not supposed to cry. Do you know how the baby tell the mama that he's born strong and healthy? They cycle the first colostrum through the child, and it feeds a signal through the umbilical cord back through the placenta into the mother's uterus, and the mother then translated in her queen's chamber of the brain, which is between the pituitary and pineal gland, and then it sends a signal back to the baby, right? That, oh, mama realized that you made it okay. You hear everything is okay. They cut the umbilical cord, which sends the reverse signal. It tells the baby that the mother died in childbirth, but it tells the mother that the baby died. So now she's going through postpartum depression, which is the grieving process, because her subconscious mind thinks the baby dead, and she's trying to figure out who the hell is this on my titty.
Bruh.
It's all everything that's part of our natural life, they've weaponized against us.
And you know what? And you know what's so funny about life? I always heard about that. They say when you get knowledge, you become angry. Why you become angry? Because you fucking realize you're a fucking prisoner.
That ain't even the part that makes you the angriest. We know make you the angriest if your heart in the right place. What they do to the children.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Would make you so fucking mad that you can kill a brick, cripple a stick, and drown a drop of water and won't feel no remorse.
That part.
Yeah. All right, nephew. But what's your name, man?
Nasaj.
Nasaj. All right.
The artist name 327. I'm putting all that shit in the music. You're gonna get lit 2024. For
sure. All right, I'm gonna take another caller in. I'm gonna let you drop out.
Come on, let's go.
All right. This guy digging them dreads already.
Doing all right, man?
I'm good, baby. I'm good. How you feeling?
I'm blessed. Listen, you was talking just now. What you said was, if your heart is really where it's supposed to be, what's gonna piss you off most is what they doing with these kids. Listen, it's been a year since I had him, and prior to that, I was coming hard. Cause every time I go to sleep for the last 3 years, in my dream, I'm at war. In my dreams, we at a state of war. And I had a long discussion with another elder, and he was like, cause it was bothering me.
Crab legs and stuff?
No, I'm good.
Potatoes?
I'm good.
You don't want them?
No, give me a second. Give me a second. I got a guy that's in here trying to treat me right. You know how it is. But it was bothering me for a good minute. I'm like, it's something going on as far as the state of the world. And then I kind of woke up in a sense. I ain't had no choice. I got forced.
Where you from? You where you from? Tennessee?
I'm from Michigan. I'm from Flint. I'm an 810 baby.
Flintstones.
Yeah, I'm an
Them
810
my
baby.
dudes. Them my
Yeah.
dudes. Them my dudes, man. Hey, look, when I was doing time, man, Flintstones and the Saginaw clans, them niggas used to be,
I got
them my
family.
guys, man.
Yeah, I was about to
But I
say,
used,
matter of fact, I got family. I'm currently down south. My people got me out of there because you know how it is up north and everything. I'm in South
oh yeah,
Carolina right now.
you ain't was understood, and need not be explained.
Ain't gotta be explained. But back to the topic at hand, he told me the war was already won. The decision has been made a long time ago. So my predicament is I've been falling into the flesh. The flesh has been trying to, just because I can't go as hard as I want to. I know there's a position and a role for me to play, but I feel like if I go as hard as I want to, that'll sacrifice what I have here. You know what I mean? Are you getting that?
As a
That general
father,
understanding?
as the father, your first job is to secure your old lady and your children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
When they,
and I'm great at that.
you can't go to war with nobody until you made sure that the home is secure.
Okay.
This how we were just talking about this, how the Califia Queens got sacked by the Spaniard.
Mm-hmm.
When we went to fight the Gullah Wars, we didn't know we needed to leave that many soldiers, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't leave enough
But it's chess.
behind.
That's why, because it's chess. And the
Right.
queen is the most important piece on the board.
And when we got the call, most of the Califia Queens the queens was with us, the real queens. This is like their elder daughters and stuff like that stayed behind.
Okay.
And it looked like the castle used to be where Alcatraz at.
Yeah, they turned them into prisons. Yeah.
Watch this. They bombed the castle until it was rubble and turned it into a military post.
What?
Now, what was done at that castle, that was an all-women's resort. The replica is the Disney castle.
Wow.
That be on the front of every Disney movie. Wow. That's them bragging about the destruction of the Califia's
That's one thing they gonna
castle.
do regardless. They go laugh in my face about it. They go.
The women that they call Amazonians is literally tribes from the Amazon River.
Okay.
We wasn't really worried about the sisters because they was already there on a retreat. And this is why they believe that all of the Califias was Amazonians. So we got the warrior queens of the Amazon. They got men that fight with them too, but they on their way to Florida.
Okay.
Right? The monkey clans of South America on their way to Florida. They got to come up through, we coming by land the same way the migrants is coming from Mexico now.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Okay,
all,
I'm hearing you now.
All you doing is watching the reenactment of the all hands on deck call when tribes came from everywhere.
And I can feel that. I hear what you're saying, and I feel every word. Listen, man, it ain't nothing but gratitude and respect you. It's like we live in a world where it's hard to want to do better. It's hard to want to be your best self simply because the worst is was glorified, you know?
Yeah.
So what you doing for the youth, you talk to the youth. Don't ever stop, man. For real.
Look, that's part of
that's my point is I lose focus. When I'm in my highest self, we would have been, if I was in my highest self, we would have been having a totally different conversation right now. But it's just because I know if I get back in that mode, some shit gonna go down, Chief.
Look,
for real.
You know how you say when you started realizing you was at war, your genetic memory was kicking in, and now you have to study warfare because you ain't ready to go to war because you realize you at war. Right? You run your ass out there and get your ass blowed up because you ain't got no cover.
No, that's real. That's
right?
Real.
The Sun Tzu, the greatest war strategist writer. He said the greatest strategist is the one who win the war without ever having to resort to combat.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? But he don't just say that. He point to other options that could be available to you. Right? But the most important option, when you realize you're at war, everything else take a backseat till you study and become abreast of how to move in every form of warfare known to man. And somebody wrote about it. It's a guy named Camus. He wrote African Art of War.
The Art of War. The Art of War.
Listen,
how did I know that was going to come out your mouth?
African Art of War.
The African Art of War. You put me on
Sun
game now.
Tzu is the author of The Art of War. Right? Now watch this. It's another book called Strategies of the Crescent Moon. Based on the faith and the belief of the Islamic culture, it's a guerrilla warfare strategy guide for Muslims.
Okay.
All right. Alexander's dialogue has become war treaties to study. That's French warfare. Muhammad Ahmed from the Sudanese warfare. You study his life and how his shit moved. He's showing you Islamic Sudanese warfare. Right? Hannibal the Great, the greatest general it ever was, Hannibal of Carthage. And I think Denzel's supposed to play him in the upcoming movie. I ain't gonna miss that. But studying the life and the times of Hannibal, it also shows you how espionage and infiltration was used to bring down the greatest military general ever. Then you have his father, who was also a great general, by studying his military movement. So now you got enough to study.
I got enough
military strategies of Genghis Khan, military strategies of Attila the Hun.
And it's not that I don't, you know.
No, the reason why I'm bringing this up, there's a different dynamic with each field of studying the movements of military. When you study and when you start realizing you in a war, right, you have to assess your capabilities, the capabilities of your enemy. Know thyself, know thy enemy, and victory is assured, right? And once you do that, you know how much of the war you can take on. The greatest asset you have to fight with that they can't defend against. Right? That's called the eagle claw.
Okay.
No can defend. Right?
You said it's called what, Chief?
The eagle claw.
Okay.
The eagle claw because there's no defense when the eagle snatch your ass.
You gone.
Because normally he's in motion so fast that by the time you realize what's going on, if he let you go, you're gonna die from the fall.
Yeah, you gone. It's over with. I can understand that conceptualization.
So in your personal life, you become the microcosmic warrior. You become the warrior of the little fight. You fighting the war to flee right now. It's a military strategy book called The War to Flee, by the way. And you looking at, okay, the first thing that you have to secure is your home front. Right. Now, what do it mean to secure the home front? Right. No matter what happened, if you run out of money, you got to be able to feed everybody in that house at least 90 days.
Every time.
All right.
Now,
once you know that now you have your what they call your surplus stocked up, right? Then what else do you need? Right? You know you don't need toilet paper because you can wash your ass with soap and water.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Toilet paper is not a high priority item for times of distress because it was a time we ain't had that shit. So the main three things: food, clothing, and shelter. Right? So knowing that you're going to have clothing and you have to feed people for 90 days, you got to also make sure that your old lady have a means to cook if they turn off the gas or the electric. She got to have an alternative cooking method for the next 90 days if it's the barbecue grill or if you build a fire pit, because if they turn that stuff off, you can't cook in the kitchen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you know now we can feed everybody in the house for 90 days. We got a means to cook the food, right? Now, you have to be aware of where running water is, streams, creeks, and similar, or anywhere near you.
For sure.
Right? You gotta know how to purify water.
Mm-hmm.
If you know where to run water at and you know how to purify water, now that's the sustenance part. The food part is covered. Next is the clothing. Your clothing should be different in the crisis than it would when you be in peacetime. In peacetime, you want to be big meat splashy in peacetime, but not in wartime.
Mm-hmm.
In wartime, you want to be as inconspicuous as possible. That means as simple as possible. Mm-hmm. This is why rich billionaires dress like they poor, and poor people go broke dressing like they rich.
Trying to be rich, trying to look like they got something.
Right.
Okay.
So you keep in mind, you know, boys gonna tear shoes up fast if they don't have video games to play. Mm-hmm. So you got to figure out they're gonna need at least 3 pairs of shoes. They'll need a pair of tennis shoes, a pair of boots, and a pair of sandals. Because the different changes in the climate, you'll be able to, you know, be more versatile with their footwear, right? So we rebuilding this all, you know.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
Right. So
the old
you being the point man, you looking at all of these things, and then you measuring against your current resource. And then you start doing one thing making sure one thing done at a time. For you know it, all that shit done, house secure. Right? Mm-hmm. Right. Now, once you secure your house, your next field of vision is your street. Mm-hmm. If something happens, you're gonna be beefing with your neighbors, or y'all gonna band together. It should be one person on every street that know everybody. If you know who she is, you get all your news from her. Gossipy Jones. She got to tell you everybody business anyway, because that's just who she is. She can't help it. That was she served a purpose in the tribe. Her job was to know everybody on the block. Mm-hmm. Right? So if something happened, she gonna 9 out of 10 saw the problem before the police even get there. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that was Junior and them kids ran up in that lady house and shot her dog. And how you know? Yeah, I was standing right there watching them.
yeah, that's real. That's real.
That's why we used to have. I appreciate
you giving me that blueprint. I really do.
Yeah.
You put me on the right path.
Food, clothing, and shelter for 90 days, baby. That's securing the household first. Then you start looking outside of that realm.
Okay.
As long as you do that, you're fighting a controllable part of the war that you can actually see.
Okay. Now I got one more topic. What's going on with this sky? Cause that sun out there. I talk to it every day.
Man, look, moon
every time I wake
gone
up.
5 days and just popped up over here today. Like, hey, I've been here the whole time, just crescent. Mm-hmm. No.
It's red out.
Listen, I'm like this. Look, people been sending me messages talking about, man, where's the fucking moon at?
Man.
I got messages and I'm like, man, I don't know where. I told these motherfuckers that motherfucker pull off. Then somebody sent me a video of the moon trying to outrun the ship.
Uh-huh. I seen that same thing. I seen that same video.
Hey, look, when
But
they sent it to me, they say, Uncle Raj, you said that motherfucker